Hello, and welcome to today's episode of not so cedh bling builds. Today's general will feature Ambassador Laquatus, the the legend, the meme. Well, not really a meme, right? I don't think anyone's ever heard of this deck. But this is designed to be a mill deck, and I know you might say to yourself, Bruvac is the best. He's the best mill deck. He's 2-card combo with Traumatize, and yeah, but that's all he does, right? It's Traumatize or Maddening Cacophony or the fish. And the problem with the fish and Maddening Cacophony is if an opponent has an odd number of cards in their deck, I think they still survive by like one card. I think. I'm not too sure. But take it from me, Ambassador Laquatus, this guy, this merfolk meme lord, is the number one mill deck, and the reason being is because he is a infinite mana outlet in a command zone. So if you can assemble infinite mana, he's just one win condition. Now these mill decks are, in my opinion, if that's their number one priority, then they're not really good decks. They could die to like a Titan, right? What if an opponent has like for no real reason has a Titan in their deck? What do you do then? So we'll go over some of the important combo pieces and some of the outlets in this deck, and we'll discuss as we come across them. But let's get right into it. This is will probably be on the record as the most expensive commander deck. So we have Ambassador Laquatus. You gotta always have both arts. You gotta have all the arts, And one of your infinite mana engines, of course, is Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal. Goes without saying. There's one other one in this. There's no High Tide, Palinchron, or like Gilded Drake, High Tide, not Gilded Drake, Peregrine Drake. It's just not for me. I don't like it. But Isochron Scepter, Dramatic Reversal is just one of the engines. And once you have infinite mana on board, you could join your deck with cards like Whispers of the Muse, or Pull from Tomorrow. And then you could win through things like, either Laquatus, milling everybody, or a Blue Sun Zenithing everybody, which is really cute combo. I like this combo. You just, one by one, you Blue Sun an opponent for 1,000,000. The Blue Sun goes back in the deck. You'll get like a cantrip, draw a Blue Sun again, and rinse, wash, repeat. Of course, with infinite mana, you could just capsize everybody, but you might have the one opponent who ate paint chips as a kid, so they don't understand why a capsize is a game. Plan Z is and now we're stretching, right? Now if you can't mill them, and now if you can't draw them out, then you could just ping them with your Walking Ballista. Or one thing that took my smooth brain a little while to realize was Thassa's Oracle. Now, you don't need to just draw the deck for the Thassa's Oracle, but you can mill yourself. Laquatus allows you to mill any target. So you can just Thassa's Oracle yourself, which totally slipped by me. Moving on to our creature package, we have a Wandering Archaic. I never ran this card, but it seems like a pain in the ass to deal with if he hits the board. His fat ass just sits there and gains a ton of value. So let's see how it works. Jace Vryn's Prodigy, Baby Jace. Still a good card. And then I'll call this the I do things better with your creatures than you do package. We have a Gilded Drake, Phyrexian Metamorph, which is a little bit more versatile than you would imagine. Let's say if I have a Dramatic Scepter, Iso Scepter on board, I could copy that and imprint like a swan song, among other things, of course. And there's like the phantasmal image. Our tutor creatures, there's tribute mage. There is no trinket mage in this deck. The only target I had would have with a trinket mage would be like a walking ballista, but we already established that walking ballista is like a last resort plan, and there's no other targets. With this, at least, I have the Isochron Scepter and the Grim Monolith. You know, Spellseeker, get my Pull from Tomorrow, Whisper of the Muse, and a couple of other things. We have our Planeswalkers. Very simple. We got the Tutor Planeswalker, Tezzeret Seeker, and Homegirl, Bay Narset, a Rest in Peace Hole Breacher. And then going on to, moving along to our counter package, we'll start things off with our soft counters. We have Narset's Reversal and Unsubstantiate. Then our hard counters, we got Mana Drain, Flusterstorm, a lot of familiar faces. Swan Song, which doubles as a win condition. Dispel. Mistcast. I always call it Gataxian. Mental Misstep. Fierce Guardianship. Force of Negation. Pact of Negation. Force of Will. Then going to our draw package, we have a Frantic Search, Impulse, OG Brainstorm, OG Preordain, OG Ponder. These cantrips, and of course, Gataxian Probe. These cantrips, these draw spells are really important, especially if you're going to do that Blue Sun for the win. Moving along to our wheels, we have a Windfall and Time Twister. Since there's no High Tide in this deck, even though it's like so much blue, so many islands, I went against it. I don't. It's not necessary in this deck, so there's no Time Spiral. Then our removal package, we have a Snap, Resculpt, Rabbit Hybridization, Pongify, Chain of Vapor, Winds of Rebuke, Cyclonic Rift, and then our Tutor package. We got our Merchant Scroll, Solve the Equation, Mystical Tutor, Muddle the Mixture, Fabricate, War of Invention, Reshape, and Transmute Artifact. I'm telling you, the most expensive shit deck. Our enchantments include Rhystic Study, Mystic Remora, and then our copy artifact for reasons that I mentioned before with the Phyrexian Metamorph. And then our other infinite mana engine, we have our power artifact to make infinite mana with Basalt Monolith or Grim Monolith. There's no Rings of Bright Earth in this deck. I just don't care about that card. Our rocks, other rocks, we got Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, Arkham's Astrolabe, which is great, Chromox, Mox Opal, Mox Diamond, Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone, Lotus Petal, and the Jeweled Lotus. And then some cards that are just really, really nice on their own, and go infinite with your Dramatic Scepter. We have Top and Codex Shredder. This Codex Shredder is more in here, more for its second ability, not so much the first. It's already a shit mill deck. And then finally our lands. We have our 5 fetches. We have a total of 14 snow islands. We have our synergy with Artifact Lands, Inventor's Fair, Academy Ruins, and Buried Ruin. And then I know this is monocolored deck, but I don't give a shit if it puts me one turn ahead of the opponent's Gemstone Caverns. We got our Abundant Lands, Crystal Vein, Ancient Tomb, and City of Traders. And we have 2 artifact lands. The artifact count in this deck is a little low, so we'll try to even that out with artifact lands. We have Seed of the Synod, and this new thing, Treasure Vault, which is great because if for whatever reason I have the power artifact infinite colorless mana, and this is already on board, then I could then make infinite colored mana, which might come in super clutch at some point. And that is the deck. That is ya boy, Ambassador Laquatus. No one talks about this deck. That's fine, whatever. It gets buried underneath much better, more efficient commanders. But it kind of annoys me, like decks like Maru Neha, Nihumara gets like entries in the cedh database, and I don't think that deck is particularly good, especially because she's not an outlet in the command zone, and the deck depends way too much on like Ghostly Flicker, you know. And in like today's meta, what if it gets Praetor's Grasp away? Like, what do you do then? So, I don't know. Yeah, the most expensive shit deck. Like and subscribe.